You pour the bowl, you add the milk, you trust the box. But what if that morning ritual you've relied on for years is quietly destroying your health? Today, we uncover the 5 cereal brands the UK should be warning about. Products so loaded with sugar that they rival chocolate bars. Bowls of synthetic vitamins, industrial oils and additives so questionable that other countries have banned them outright. And the shocking truth about how these trusted household names have been deceiving British families for decades. For years, the cereal industry has convinced us that breakfast means a bowl of crunchy, colourful flakes. They told us it was wholesome, balanced, essential. That starting your day with processed grains fortified with vitamins was not just acceptable, but recommended. Doctors endorsed it, schools served it, parents trusted it, and we believed them. But here's what they didn't tell you. The cereal aisle has become one of the most deceptive sections in the entire supermarket. Behind the cartoon mascots and health claims lies an industry built on cheap ingredients, laboratory additives, and profit margins that matter more than your well-being. Breakfast cereal used to be simple: oats, grains, maybe a touch of honey. But the cereals on supermarket shelves today have quietly become some of the most ultra-processed items in your entire shopping trolley. Packed with synthetic fortification, seed oils, and enough sugar to make a dessert jealous. And yet they sit there every morning, marketed as the foundation of a healthy day. The media pushed it, nutritionists repeated it, and for decades we bought it. Because when a brand has been in your cupboard since childhood, it's easy to assume it's safe. But this is the great deception of the modern British food system. Even the most trusted labels no longer guarantee purity, quality, or honesty. Number 5. Weetabix. Weetabix has built its reputation on being the safe choice, the doctor-recommended option, the cereal your grandparents ate and their grandparents before them. It's marketed as simple, clean, wholesome, just wheat and a few vitamins, right? Nothing could be more straightforward than those little rectangular biscuits you drop into a bowl. But peel back that minimalist branding and you'll find something far more concerning hiding inside those innocent-looking wheat blocks. The problem with Weetabix isn't what you see, it's what you don't see. Heavy synthetic iron fortification pumped into every biscuit. This isn't the natural iron you'd get from spinach or red meat. This is inorganic iron, the kind manufactured in laboratories and added to cereals because it's cheaper than using ingredients that naturally contain nutrients, and the levels are far above what your body actually needs or can safely process. Synthetic iron doesn't behave like food-based iron. It sits in your gut, creating oxidative stress, triggering inflammation, and in many cases leading to constipation and digestive irritation. For older adults and people with iron sensitivity, this becomes a serious problem. Too much synthetic iron can contribute to joint pain, fatigue, and metabolic issues. Your body struggles to eliminate the excess, so it builds up, creating stress on your digestive system. And here's the kicker. Weetabix also contains malted barley syrup, which is essentially concentrated sugar disguised as grain processing. Despite looking plain and boring, each biscuit still spikes your blood sugar. It's slow-release sugar compressed into a brick and coated in synthetic minerals. Why does Weetabix do this? Because synthetic fortification costs a fraction of real nutrition. It allows them to slap health claims on the box without actually improving the food quality. They can say high in iron and source of vitamins, while delivering something your body treats more like a chemical supplement than actual nourishment. This is a cereal that's been in British homes for over 80 years, trading on trust and tradition. But what you're eating today isn't the same product your grandparents had. It's an industrial creation wearing a heritage costume. Number 4. Quaker Oats products. Quaker Oats. The name alone conjures images of wholesome tradition, heart-healthy breakfasts, and good old-fashioned nutrition. They've spent decades positioning themselves as the responsible choice, the brand that cares about your health. Oats are good for you after all. They lower cholesterol, they're full of fibre, they're natural. Except modern oat farming has a secret most people don't know about, and it's hiding in plain sight on your breakfast table. Here's the agricultural reality. Oats are commonly sprayed with glyphosate before harvest, not to kill weeds, but as a drying agent to speed up processing. It's a cost reduction strategy used across the industry. Spray the crops with weed killer right before harvest, the oats dry faster, and the company saves money. Simple business logic. Except that glyphosate doesn't just disappear. Independent testing has repeatedly found residue traces in oat-based cereals and porridge products. Standard processing doesn't remove it, so every morning when you pour that bowl of supposedly wholesome oats, you might be eating trace amounts of herbicide. The health implications go far beyond what most people realize. Glyphosate disrupts the gut microbiome, killing off beneficial bacteria that your body relies on for digestion, immunity, and even mood regulation. For people eating oats every single day, this daily exposure compounds over time. Your gut gradually loses the bacterial diversity it needs to function properly. The result? Digestion issues, blood sugar instability, weakened immune response, and chronic inflammation. Seniors and children are particularly vulnerable because their systems are either declining or still developing. And Quaker knows this. The information is public, the studies exist, yet they continue using suppliers who spray with glyphosate because it's faster and cheaper than traditional harvesting methods. Regulations allow it, so they do it. The heart-healthy claims remain plastered across every box, while the agricultural reality stays buried in supplier contracts and regulatory loopholes. This isn't just about oats anymore. It's about a brand that built trust through heritage messaging, while quietly cutting corners on the one thing that matters most: what's actually in the food. Number 3. Kellogg's Crunchy Nut. Kellogg's Crunchy Nut doesn't pretend to be healthy food. It markets itself as irresistibly tasty, dangerously addictive. The cereal adults buy for themselves because it reminds them of childhood. And that honesty about being indulgent almost makes it feel acceptable. Almost, until you realize what's actually happening inside that box and inside your body every time you eat it. Crunchy Nut is engineered for addiction, not in the casual sense, addiction in the food science sense. It uses a multi-layered sugar system designed specifically to hijack your brain's reward pathways. Sugar is baked directly into the cornflakes during processing. Then a honey-flavored coating gets applied. Then invert sugar syrup is sprayed on top for extra sweetness and that signature crunch. Each layer hits different taste receptors, creating what food scientists call hyperpalatability. A formula engineered to bypass your natural fullness signals and keep you eating past the point of satiety. The result? Each 100 grams contains 35 grams of sugar. That's more than a third of the entire product. One bowl delivers almost as much sugar as 2 chocolate bars. And because the sugar hits your system in multiple forms simultaneously, your blood glucose spikes sharply, insulin floods your bloodstream to cope, and within an hour, you crash hard. You feel tired, irritable, and hungry again, so you eat more. That's not a bug in the design, that's the feature. Kellogg's has created a morning ritual that guarantees you'll come back for more. For children, this translates to hyperactivity and attention problems. For adults, weight gain and sugar dependency. For older adults, dangerous glucose swings that stress the cardiovascular system. And the long-term risks? Fatty liver disease from chronic sugar overconsumption, chronic inflammation, and metabolic syndrome that sets the stage for diabetes. But Kellogg's doesn't care about the long term. They care about repeat purchases, about building a customer base that craves Crunchy Nut the same way smokers crave cigarettes. This is corporate strategy disguised as breakfast cereal, and every box sold is another person locked into the cycle. Number 2. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Corn Flakes, the most innocent-looking cereal in existence. Plain, simple, boring even. They've been around for over a century. There are no bright colors, no cartoon characters, no obvious sugar coating. Just plain golden flakes that surely can't be harmful, right? Wrong. Because sometimes the most dangerous products are the ones that hide behind simplicity, and cornflakes are hiding something most people never think about. The problem with cornflakes isn't what's added, it's what happens during processing. These flakes undergo high-temperature extrusion, an industrial process that applies extreme heat and pressure to corn until it forms into those thin, crispy flakes you recognize. But that heat is so intense, it fundamentally alters the grain structure at a molecular level. The process creates compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These are the same compounds that form when you burn or char food, and your body treats them like toxins. AGEs accelerate cellular aging. They trigger inflammation throughout your body. They strain your kidneys as they try to filter out these unnatural compounds, and they contribute to long-term health problems that most people never connect back to their breakfast cereal. In some markets, cornflakes still contain preservatives like BHT or BHA, petroleum-derived compounds linked to endocrine disruption. The UK allows these additives under certain regulations, even though other countries have restricted or banned them entirely. Here's the analogy that makes it clear. Imagine taking corn, a perfectly healthy grain, and subjecting it to such aggressive industrial processing that the molecules rearrange into something your body doesn't recognize as food anymore. That's what high-temperature extrusion does. Corn itself isn't the enemy, the processing is. And Kellogg's uses this method for one reason only. It creates a product that can sit on shelves for months without spoiling, ship across continents without degrading, and deliver massive profit margins. Shelf stability over human health every single time. Number 1. Cocoa Pops. And now we arrive at the worst offender. The cereal built specifically for children, engineered for dependency, and marketed with cartoon characters that turn breakfast into entertainment. Cocoa Pops. The chocolate-flavored cereal that British kids have been begging their parents to buy for decades. Monkey mascots, bright packaging, and the promise that breakfast can taste like dessert. It's fun, it's familiar, and it's one of the most aggressively harmful cereals on the market. Cocoa Pops contains a staggering amount of sugar, nearly 40 grams per 100 grams. That means before your child even leaves for school, they've consumed close to their entire recommended daily sugar intake. One bowl, that's it, before the mid-morning snack, before lunch, before dinner. And because it's positioned as breakfast, as part of a complete meal, parents don't register it as the sugar bomb it actually is. They see cereal, they see fortification claims, they see a brand name they trust. What they don't see is that they're essentially serving their children chocolate-flavored sugar air with synthetic vitamins sprinkled on top. The fortification is theatre. All those vitamins and minerals listed on the box, they're added back synthetically because the natural nutrients in the grain were completely destroyed during ultra-processing. Your body doesn't absorb synthetic vitamins the same way it absorbs nutrients from whole foods. In many cases, it just flushes them out unused, so the health claims are meaningless. This is empty calories dressed up in nutritional language designed to make parents feel less guilty about buying it. But the real damage goes deeper than just sugar. Feeding children Cocoa Pops first thing in the morning disrupts their insulin sensitivity for the entire day. Blood sugar spikes sharply, crashes hard, and triggers mood swings, energy crashes, and appetite dysregulation. Kids can't concentrate at school. They get irritable and hungry within an hour, and they start associating breakfast with that chocolate hit, creating a pattern that follows them into adulthood. Kellogg's isn't just selling cereal, they're building lifetime customers by programming children's taste preferences before they're old enough to understand what's happening. The long-term risks are frightening. Increased diabetes risk, chronic inflammation, dental problems from daily sugar exposure, and habitual dependency on hyper-sweet foods. This is a cereal that takes advantage of children's inability to make informed choices and parents' trust in brand names, and every box sold represents another family caught in the trap. Built for children, engineered for dependency, marketed as breakfast. That's Cocoa Pops, and it's exactly why it sits at number 1 on this list. What this all means: these 5 cereals share the same priorities: cheap inputs, addictive taste, regulatory permission. They've monetized trust, weaponized familiarity, and turned breakfast into a daily dose of ultra-processed deception. You're not eating food anymore. You're eating laboratory formulas designed to maximize shelf life and profit margins while your health becomes collateral damage. But you have a choice. You can walk away from these brands, you can demand better, and you can start feeding your family real food again. What to eat instead? The solution is simpler than you think. Organic whole oats cooked with real fruit, low-sugar muesli with no syrups or coatings, homemade granola where you control every ingredient, simple oat and fruit bowls that cost pennies and nourish deeply. Fewer ingredients, no artificial colors, no synthetic fortification gimmicks, real food that your body recognizes and uses properly. You are not failing at breakfast. The system is designed to mislead you. Reading labels is an act of self-defense. The battle isn't cereal versus cereal, it's your health versus corporate profit. And tomorrow morning, you get to choose. Will you eat marketing or will you eat real food? The cupboard is yours, the choice is yours, and your body is waiting for you to choose better.